Hello everyone and welcome to the latest in a series of podcasts with myself, Liam Carroll, a qualified financial consultant with SYS Wealth and Financial Planners. And the idea behind these podcasts is to speak to experienced professionals, thus giving health to your wealth. And delighted today to be joined by Ursula MacKenzie. And Ursula is firstly ma'am to Shannon, Abigail, I got that right Ursula I hope, and Alexander, and she's married to James. Limerick woman forever, but she's living in Tipperary. And for a woman who said she'd never have animals, she now has 3 cats, a dog, and a hamster inside in the house. Currently, she's coordinator of Employability Limerick with over 15 years' experience in HR and business management, which spanned over non-profit, public, and business sectors. And she holds a BA in Human Resource Management from the University of Limerick. So, Ursula, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today.
It's a pleasure, Liam. Thanks for asking.
In the intro there, I just mentioned that you were working with Employability Limerick. You might just give me a quick outline of employability, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose I've been working there now for the past 6 years, and I am coordinator of that service, and we're based in Mallow Street in Limerick City. Because employability itself is around since 2002, and it's one of 23 nationwide programs that's kind of funded by the Department of Employment and Social Protection. Because look, I suppose the bones of employability is about getting job seekers into work. It's kind of like a recruitment service with a difference. We're focusing, our clients are coming with a illness, disability, health condition, mental health condition, would be the background in terms of the client profile. But the level of skill set and experience our clients comes with would be very varied, from lower level to higher level in terms of skill set and education. So it's very broad, even in terms of the clients themselves, the illness or the health condition. It's so broad, from anybody with dyslexia, back pain, physical disability, or at the end of the day, I think anybody who which is more prevalent now in the last couple of months, I suppose there's a lot of people out of work, but anybody who has been out of work or struggling in their job, if they had been ill at some time and trying to get back, or just trying to look for maybe a different job, alternative options. And I suppose we're the service for them to help them look at what their options are and to help find them. I suppose that's the key thing, really.
I know we're both members of the Midwest Mentoring and
yes,
group.
We are. Yeah.
Very
active members.
Active members of the group, is right. And I know a good few people have spoken to Michelle and yourself and Patricia, I suppose, just to mention a few, and I found them to be fantastically helpful, and it's a great service that you provide. But I suppose the first question I normally ask people would be the challenges that you've faced, I suppose, firstly, on a personal level, Ursula, since the pandemic started.
I suppose, like everybody else, it's been somewhat stressful initially. As a parent, parent with the 2 particular younger kids, with homework and homeschooling, and then you have to be at home all the time, and we're all under each other's feet, and then it's doing the school work and doing the actual day job as well, and squeezing everything in. But I think for me that was initially, like everybody else, I would imagine, was quite hard. But I think as a family we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as well to try and do everything and do all of it, and then get outside and enjoy the weather, and so it was difficult. But I suppose we had to come to that realization and think, right, okay, let's do what we can do, and that's just good enough. Kids are happy, everyone's okay, we're healthy.
Exactly.
Get outside and homework.
I think it's a common theme across it, Ursula, that people that's the overriding thing, like just to get used to each other nearly and get back as a family, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know what, there was a lot of positives there as well. There was challenges, but I think everybody tried to find the positive within that. And I think, like, I took yoga up again, and would, when the weather was lovely, and get outside, and 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, when everybody else was only getting up, and just get that extra few minutes to myself before the madness kicked in. And that worked.
Makes perfect sense. And I suppose that covers over a lot of the professional challenges as well that you would have faced, wouldn't it, Ursula? Would they be a few interlinked?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm managing a team, so you're kind of making sure that everyone is okay, and no one is isolated, and they're working remotely, and everybody feels like they're still, like we didn't stop working. You know, the office might have been physically closed, but everybody was really working and working harder to nearly prove yourself that you're actually
Yes.
working at
Yeah.
home. Do you know, that was the thing. So I suppose having to think outside the box and getting the lads to do different projects that would spur their interest, and how can they help out in the community as well, and how can, you
And
know, we can just
yeah,
manage it.
zoom. Isn't that it? Everything is
Yes,
the new
yes, yes.
word.
Yeah.
And from your own, I suppose, professional experience, Ursula, any nuggets of information with using your background that people could use when we hopefully get out of this, that they could even be, I know we're going to the second phase nearly, but anything
I
that people
know.
could use to drive their own careers on, I suppose, really.
I suppose really, you know, there was a couple of things there when I was looking at that. No major words of wisdom, but I suppose really the key thing is to just go easy on yourself too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we all started to slow down during that phase and maybe revisit hobbies, revisit the exercise or doing things as a family. And I suppose it's just to make sure you don't forget about that really, in a personal aspect of things, you know. But I mean, professionally, we took that opportunity to do more courses and to look at the things that we just always said we never had the time to do.
Yeah.
And you find the time. So it's just to, I guess, don't lose track of that. And in terms, you know, for building your career, it's just a constant learning. And I think that's what we did as a team. That was what worked for us.
That's
You know.
great. That is great advice. That's great advice. Gee, I'm nearly knocking my phone here. I'll have a fallout with it. But
I can see my necklace is glowing, so I'm trying to hide it.
At least people know anyway. It's the first take, Ursula, isn't it? But
the only one, I hope.
the only one you hope. The second last question. You're nearly out of dodge anyway. We're involved in the financial services industry, as you know, but from your experience or point of view, the financial services that you have used in your personal or professional career that you found the most useful?
In both, I'd say is like I linked in with yourself some time back and have, I would say, great advice, great support, and even down to the basic of break it down to layman's language, please. So I can understand it. And you did that so well and without judgment. Thank you very much. But I guess like me, myself personally, you know, I had a pension in a previous employment that I couldn't bring forward to this employment. So it's just how we manage that, and we manage that, and you kept in touch with me throughout the process and after that. So anything, I suppose, if anybody was working that had an old pension that needed advice around it and know what to do with it, I would strongly advise them to have a chat with yourself. But even the specified illness cover,
yeah, it's very important. Yeah,
it is, you know, and I took that out as well through yourselves, which I felt, I suppose, even more so recently. It was good to just have that reassurance in the background as well.
Yeah, and it's funny enough, those two top products that you picked out, we have found during the lockdown, people have reviewed or wanted an extra look at them. Like, so it's interesting, the two that you picked, two popular ones during the lockdown. Yeah. Finally, I suppose the best bit of advice that you ever got, Ursula, be it from a person, a parent, or a work experience, or something you've heard or picked up along the way.
Right, I suppose. Professionally, I guess, and something I mentioned a while ago as well, it's like, look, don't ever stop learning or growing as a person. Don't ever think you know it all. And I suppose maybe my parents have told me that too, you know, don't be a know-it-all. Or don't ever think that you know it all. And, you know, there's always room for improvement and there's always room for development, personally and professionally. And I follow that, you know, and I always have done. And I think will, you know, even mid-40s and going back and doing different courses and different, like, it's great. And it keeps the mind healthy, doesn't it?
It does. And I suppose just to finish up, Ursula, I know from talking to the lads inside, and I know a few of them, that they're very complimentary towards your leadership and things, and I think you're very good to encourage them to develop themselves, be professionally and personally as well, and they all speak very highly of you. And the service you offer, I know Adrian Carmody, we call him a friend anyway, a mutual friend of ours, and he speaks very highly of you as well, and other people do also. So the service you provide is very needed, especially in these times, Ursula, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And I think, you know, as I said earlier on, like, there's going to be a lot of people out of work now, and a lot of mental health issues actually will be very obvious, become very obvious over the next couple of months, because obviously with the shutdown now again in some businesses, it's really, really hard for people. So you look, and it is a case of employability are here. We help people in those circumstances to find work. This is what we do, and this is what we do best. You know,
and if you're an employer as well, that you'll vet all the people, isn't that correct, Ursula? And
absolutely, we look at, you know, the best fit for the job. You know, we always say, like, do a work trial, do a working interview. We actually really promote working interviews. So get somebody in on the job for an afternoon or a day, see what they are in your organization, you know, and see how that works out. And that really, really works well for us and for the employers in particular. So, yeah.
Ursula, thank you very much for taking the time out to join us out of your busy schedule. And we hope everyone found it very interesting. And Ursula's contact details will be at the end of the slides. And just also to take the opportunity, another friend of Ursula's, Andrew and Jeff and Wendigo, for putting this together for us as well. So thank you very much to them. So until the next time, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye.